Hey, welcome to the vlog, guys. I wanted to go through really quickly um, what we can make per month, 5, 10, 20 grand a month, working for other companies that need help on Shopify, Clickfunnels, various web things that they just don't have time to do, or they don't think they do, and they don't want to learn it. And so if you've already bought a course online from someone, this is a great strategy to pair that with. If you have already learned all the platforms, this is a great strategy to pair that with. If you have no clue what you're doing today, this is a great strategy to get started with, because it gives you a good starting point and a good framework for how to make money online, which means basically sitting in your underwear, you know, or at an office or wherever, and reaching out strategically and finding people that you can help using your skills that you are picking up by studying on YouTube for free. So, one of the things that I used to do about 10 years ago, I don't do this anymore, is I would go online and search website designer needed, or whatever. You guys can make it up. You can say, what do you want to do? Look at all these different keywords. But I would just type this and come down and find that all these different websites, Indeed.com, Freelancer.com, Upwork.com, Mooball.com. Look at this. Mooball IT is looking for a graphic web design freelance contractor. Boom. I mean, people are hiring, and what happens is their blog gets ranked for that content, and that allows you to find people that are ready to grow and ready to hire. And so when you find that person, they're ready to go. I mean, they are ready. So you don't have to sit there and convince people or hustle, or grind. You just reach out to the people that are hot and ready. So I did this about 10 years ago, and one of my first clients was a furniture store, and I found them online. I called them on the phone, and I said, I'm the guy. I had an elevator pitch ready for them, basically a 1 minute spiel about how good I was. I had literally done like 2 or 3 sites. I knew I was confident. If I couldn't figure it out, I would. And if I couldn't figure it out, I would hire somebody that could do it. So I got my first job for about 10 grand. I just got a check, half and half, 5 grand at the beginning, 5 grand when we were done. And we just had a simple contract that just said, here's what we're going to deliver you. Here's what we're expecting to be paid. They'd sign it, and we just got a check. And so it seems easy, but the hard part was the selling on the phone. Finding these people are easy, and I'm going to show you a bunch of ways to do that so that you can increase your income in 2019. Problems with posting your gig on Upwork. This is in relation to other companies posting their gigs on Upwork. They'll put a budget of 5 grand or more, and a lot of times they'll get like a million proposals, okay? So when they get all these proposals for their $5, $10, $20,000 budget, they don't really know what to do. They get paralysis by analysis, and they usually don't choose somebody right away because there's just so many people applying to work for their little project. So a lot of times what you can do is, if they leave the description of the company in that paragraph, or they leave it on their username, and you research them a little bit and reach out to them on Facebook Messenger, they're ready to go. And that's how I would do it. I just reach out and say, hey, my name's Ben. I'm a marketing specialist for a lot of things, and we've got a nice sized team, and love to work with you. And we'd get on a phone call. I'd give them a call, and I would call them until they picked up. But usually it's pretty easy because they were already looking for help. So right there, they get paralysis by analysis, and if you call them and you make your pitch, then you get in the door. So one thing that I would always do was sort jobs that were within 100 miles of me, jump on a call, and I would always tell them that I could be there the next day if they needed me to. So why does Shopify, ClickFunnels, and Activecampaign matter? Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is these are the tools that make your services worth 5, 10, 20, 30 grand at the top end. You can charge somebody 5 or 10,000 at a company that's doing millions a year, because most companies that are doing millions a year, if you shoot for a company that's doing between 2 and 10 million a year, a lot of times they've got a marketing budget that they've set aside. They have a CFO that said, look, out of everything we're doing, we need to set aside. These tools make your services worth 5 to 10, 20 grand. So again, like these CFOs or whoever, they'll put aside a huge budget in the 2 to 10 million dollar companies, and their budgets are usually 10 to 20% of their revenue for marketing. So imagine that you're $5 million in revenue, they put aside 500,000, for them to spend 10, 20 grand on a contractor, it's not that bad for them. And sometimes they even have risk money. They'll say, let's throw 100 grand at some new thing. Well, what is that new thing? It could be Instagram. It could be, trying to help people go viral on Instagram, helping companies come up with new campaigns for Facebook. I mean, there's a lot of money out there that is discretionary and available for marketing spend. So you just have to find the companies and not like stalk these like little Facebook groups where everybody's broke and they're all trying to do the same thing. When you guys know these platforms back and forth, this allows you to be able to know how to dynamically sell the customer service that will actually work for them. So for example, what I mean by that is if you own an ice cream store, I am not selling you a funnel or a Shopify account unless you've got a lot of merch, and people are buying your t-shirts like crazy. Maybe we would do a Shopify store then. But at that point, man, if you've got an ice cream store, I want to make you crazy available on Yelp, Instagram, maybe Pinterest, and maybe have like a mini blog or something. But other than that, they just need a one-page site that tells people where they are and when they're open and what's on their menu, and that's it. Unless they're really dynamic and they're, doing parties and things like that. But other than that, I mean, Shopify can do all those things, but basically, if you have a different type of store, if you're talking to somebody that's selling t-shirts and they're doing a couple million a year, they're going to need something different. They probably already have Shopify and all these different platforms, but maybe they're totally missing out on their email marketing. And that's where Activecampaign is powerful. So you have to be able to gauge what these businesses are doing. And in order to do that, you have to study business. You have to really kind of look at what people are doing, what they've done, and add value to them. Here's an example. If you're pitching a furniture store, you're going to need to know how to set up an e-com store, a funnel, and Facebook ads, right? If you are pitching a consulting company, you're going to need to know how to track leads and guide those leads through a webinar building process. Guide the company through a webinar building process. So you need to teach them how to build a webinar that converts. This is where Clickfunnels is genius. They've got all these different products. In the link below, I've got an affiliate link where you can click on it and sign up and get a ton of access to Clickfunnels and different things. But the key is you want to be able to use these tools to talk to companies that are doing well, but they're totally missing the mark on their marketing. Okay? A consulting company, there's a lady down the road here. She's blowing up in her consulting, and she's not doing any of this stuff. So could you imagine if she had a funnel to a webinar to a phone call, and you knew how to track leads, which ClickFunnels does all that for you. If you knew how to measure how much money each lead is worth to the client. So once you know all those things, the clients really do hire you pretty quickly. If you're pitching a retail store, you're going to need to know how to sell them on getting a singular landing page set up so they can convert their visitors into giving them, the company, an email and then showing them that these email lists are important. And look at Chubbies. It's a swimwear company. I get an email every other day from them, and it's winter time. So email is very important, okay? Email marketing is insanely important. So other ways to get leads, if you're a web agency or an ad agency or you're a consultant, is call local web development companies near you or around you or anywhere really for that matter and ask them for their leftover leads they don't want, okay? And then just tell them, look, for every lead you give me, I'll give you $100 if it works out. Okay, and that lead may be wanting to do Facebook ads, but the local web development company doesn't do that. Maybe that local web development company swears by custom sites and they refuse to do a Shopify site. And you can charge this customer $2,000 for a beautiful site that you work on for a couple days, 3 or 4 days. And if you get really good, you outsource it. So anyways, that's just a really good way to get some leads. Go talk to business bankers at your local business bank, or your local bank, sorry. You just ask them to speak to a business banker. They'll lead you into one of those side offices. And, just ask them questions on business. How much does it, find some legitimate questions to ask them, like, how much money do I need to open a new account? Blah, 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 blah. Because there are people coming in every day opening new business accounts there. So try to build a relationship with those bankers, because they can give you all sorts of new business leads to build websites with. All right, so in these Facebook groups for ClickFunnels, Shopify, WordPress, go help a ton. Okay, it doesn't feel like anything is happening, but it will come back around. What I mean by that is, when you're in there and you're commenting and somebody has what seems like a dumb question that you know the answer to, answer it, because people start to see your face and you start to become a verified and trusted contributor. If you just go in there and drop a link to like what you do, it's annoying. Like, people hate that crap. But if you go in there and you're always helping and you're on all these posts, as people scroll through the posts, they see your name a lot, and then they DM you and go, hey, I actually had a question for you, blah, 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 and that turns into a lead. You guys notice what I'm not covering? You don't need to run Facebook ads right now to get leads. You just got to start at the ground level. Because see, this allows you to learn your sales game. You got to learn your pitch. If you're going to do all this, build up your Facebook profile so it looks good. Get some professional pictures. Put some emojis in there. Basically have one sentence for what you do. I maximize companies by building out Shopify sites, or ClickFunnels, or Facebook ads. So ClickFunnels is the best, by the way, guys. I mean, that software has been a game changer for me. So, it's so easy to use. But again, links below if you want to check it out. There's a 14-day trial. Here's another way. Ask local photographers on Instagram if they have any leads that they run across. So a lot of these guys are running into product people that sell products online. So they ask these photographers to take professional pictures of their products. You can sit down with a photographer, take them out to coffee. They love coffee. I mean, that's like a blanket statement, I guess, but they really do. And you go take them to coffee and, hey, who have you worked with? What's the coolest product job you've done? All of a sudden they're sharing with you some guy that sells like 50 units a day of some random thing. He's got a crappy website. So you may want to help that guy build a new website and build his brand out better. Ask local businesses if they need any help. Like, literally walk into businesses. But remember, don't go into like an ice cream store. I mean, that's fine too, but I'm talking like, places that do volume. So retail, like little boutiques, takeout, maybe like a new takeout pizza joint. Whatever it is, just focus on the volume. Don't just go to any business, okay? If they're like an LP record store, but their site is kind of clunky, or they don't have a funnel to get leads, or they're not emailing their leads every week, you got to go in there and educate them a little bit and tell them what you do. They'll always ask you, oh, what do you do? Okay, well, that's a perfect opportunity for your pitch. Sit down with the local salesperson. And everybody knows this guy or that girl that's like all over the place. They love networking. And go pick their brain on who they know. Who do you know that's successful in business? Who can I connect with? Because that allows you to, be able to start networking with successful people. And those successful people lead you to other things. Okay? Go into local mom groups on Facebook. Okay, get your wife to do this, or if you're a lady, go in there. These are usually permission groups, so you got to get permission to get in. And then a lot of the posts, I mean, literally you can search in there, like, for example, lawn mowing. And you'll see people saying, hey, who knows a good lawnmower? Who knows a good yard guy? Okay? And just search the group, and then you can PM these ladies, and they'll send you work. Or have your wife PM them. But don't go crazy in those groups. Like, just look for the opportunity where there's a lead that's really obvious. Like, some lady may be in there selling, you know, random, you know, wood carving things, and maybe she needs a simple site for $500 or $1,000. Okay, and a lot of these stay-at-home moms, especially in these metropolitan areas, their husbands do very well, and they have money, and they're totally willing to spend it, and they get really excited about their little entrepreneurial gigs that they're doing. So other basic rules to follow: just sit down and map out exactly who you want your client to be. Okay, don't just jump in at any job out there. Make sure you pick a niche and stick to it, because in other words, like, let's say you only focused on construction companies and building websites for them. That's what I'm talking about. Or you only focused on, like, let's say you had access to like a dentist group for some reason, and that's all you ended up focusing on was funnels for dentists. Well, dentists are hard to get to because they have secretaries. But my point is, whoever it is that, don't just jump at every single job. You need to kind of pick a niche and stick to it. And it is harder to do than, like, it's actually harder said than done. But basically, or should I say, it's actually harder done than me just saying. But anyways, the point is, just pick out a niche and focus on that niche, okay? And just focus. Now, if you need some help picking a niche, you can comment in the comments below. But, it just depends what you're passionate about. That's kind of where I go with on that. So if you're passionate about clothing or retail or photography, that's kind of where you head. So if you're going to be working for yourself or on the side, what you have to do is learn to manage your time in 30-minute blocks. So, for example, you'll say, okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to sit down right now and check email for 30 minutes and get all this crap off my plate and out of my brain. And then for the next 30 minutes from 4:30 to 5, I'm going to build out this site to play, or build out this funnel and just start learning how to do ClickFunnels. And then from 5 to 5:30, I'm going to spend 30 minutes studying on YouTube on ClickFunnels and different things that I haven't seen before. And then from 5:30 to 6, I'm going to search the Facebook ClickFunnels group so that I can learn how to, I can learn what people are looking for help on. And I can go learn those things in ClickFunnels. Now, assuming that you guys know how to run ClickFunnels and Shopify and all these different platforms, just remember this, okay? Just remember this, please. This is so important. If you are working on these platforms, do not be afraid to break them, okay? When you are practicing and getting better and better at it, never be afraid to break these platforms. Click around, click on everything. Go into places because a lot of people kind of just freak out when there's too many buttons, and they're like, oh, this software is too hard to use. But the key is just going in there and doing it, because that creates the questions that you need to ask customer support or whoever, and they'll help you kind of get that sorted out. So again, if you guys do this for the next 8 months, you will create a momentum around you. Leads will start coming in. People will be referring you to other people. It will grow very quickly after even a few months. So just be committed to taking the time, like spending at least a couple hours a day working on this stuff. It's worth the money just to have these platforms under your belt, and to know these things, and then being able to have a sales pitch and knowing your niche. But that's just to review a little bit. Have a pitch, know your niche, get out there and start adding value. Go out there and practice on these platforms to know them. And so that's the end, guys. Again, this is why they're so important below the affiliate links. I'm just trying to help you guys out. There are a lot of people out there that struggle financially, and a lot of it boils down to A, not knowing your pitch. B, not knowing who your client is that you're looking for, right? C, not knowing these platforms back and forth and how they work in different businesses. So how does ClickFunnels and Shopify and Activecampaign work in a car repair business or a bowling alley? What are the things that I can use there? And that's kind of where you got to get creative, or you ask somebody to help you with that. So again, hopefully this helped. I'm glad you guys got to watch this video. Please share it. If you thought this was valuable, share it with a partner or a friend, and maybe they can watch it with you, and you guys can brainstorm. And if you have any questions, just comment below, and I'll make sure the comments are open for this video.